Welcome to Deep Dive Daily.
All right, it's Monday. Some sports were contested over the weekend.
It's true.
A lot of basketball. Uh, Kind of a giant fire hose of college basketball for me that I consume once a year and once a year only. The quality is usually a little bit sus. Although yesterday we were finally gifted with some really, really fun action, mostly just the Colorado State Maryland and I had a little Colorado State to make the Sweet 16, so I was disappointed by that. I had St. John's not to make the Sweet 16 come through, thanks to Arkansas, which was fun. But overall, it was kind of a buzzless week one. Was that fair?
Yeah,
Am I being mean?
No. It's one of the chalkiest weeks we've seen since like what 2007, I think it was. Or
Sure.
there's nobody below a 10 seed that's in the Sweet 16
Yeah.
in the second weekend. So
And there's only the
I got
110, right?
I got my teeth kicked in on playing money lines. Obviously, McNeese was nice, and that was pretty much the end of it. Because the only other low seed that won was, and it's not like I didn't bet them because I just have to, but Colorado State was like I think minus 110 on the money
Yeah.
line when I bet them.
Yeah.
So it was tough for upsets. It's funny. I had St. John's out too in most of my brackets, but I had them losing to Kansas. Which I'm tempted on the home bracket just to write an AR in front of it. Like,
Oh,
psych,
R.
got you. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, obviously it's much more fun to watch it in Vegas, and I'm going to try to get out next year.
Hmm.
But I'd forgotten how late the games are. When you're just at home, and like you're in your house, even if you go out and watch them like in Central Time, it's like, fuck, dude, it's 11:30. It just doesn't seem as in Vegas. It's like, all right, game's over. It's 9:15. Let's go
Mhm.
find something to do. It's just way earlier on the West Coast, obviously, and it's awesome how early they start in the morning as well. But no, he walked. I mean, he traveled for sure. You
The
can say
Maryland
gather
kid,
or
yeah.
whatever, but he took
Queen.
like six. He took like 6 steps.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of the a little bit of the
It's
luster off that win, but what are you gonna do? There's calls that get missed all game long. We just focused on the ones that
Yeah,
happened at
it's
the end.
it's sad too because the play that Colorado State set up and the shot that kid hit to go up one was so clean. It was so good, and it was just ecstatic in the moment. Do you I guess from a game theory standpoint, going up one there, then kind of it pushes Maryland into maybe a little bit more of a design, forces their hand a bit, as opposed to if it's tied there in overtime, is possible. But you're right. The way that I don't think you do anything differently. I think that was the right
No, I
call.
mean your win prop. It's the
You're
same
nine
thing
and a
we
half. Were they 9-point dogs? It was a big number. Five,
It's
6-point dogs. They
five,
were
I
big.
think 5.5.
Five. Okay.
It's the same thing we see when you do the arguments about the NFL, but like, oh, why are you going for two here? Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just tie it? Like, overtime is 50-50, probably at best for a lot of these teams, and especially if you are the underdog, winning
Yeah.
in overtime is a little tough. So you do want to, your win probability is way higher being up by one. It kind of reminds me of the Big Ten championship,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, they're up, and you still got to defend a coast to coast cutting layup, apparently, guys.
Yeah.
Big Ten showing out nice though. A couple, obviously
Gosh,
Maryland, Michigan,
SEC.
Big Ten's
This
looking
is
good.
basically an SEC versus Big Ten tournament at this point, with Duke and Houston kind of in the mix for fun, which is what the college football was too in the end, right? It was just kind of we're gonna, with Notre Dame sprinkled in there for fun. Like that's kind of the way that this works now, which is funny and weird. But 7 SEC teams here, wow. And the
Well, they
the
started with
matchups.
14, like
Yeah, the matchups look great though. Do you get the sense that the chaos will start at the Sweet 16 level, or are we going to push this chalk all the way to April 5th?
it might just be some chalky shit, man. Auburn, Duke, even he was like, it doesn't even feel like they're giving it the whole 100% right now. They
Yeah,
look fine. Obviously, the Gators got a little bit of a scare there. They were down
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
chunks of the second half. My
Yeah.
son was heartbroken in the end. It's like, God, they're only down by 5. Yeah, honey, there's 9 seconds left. Like this
Yeah.
one might be over. Although that was, I will say, and I didn't. This is classic tout move. I didn't post any of these winners. Well, because I've been getting my shit pushed in here. I don't want to sit and put out some losers for people, but
You're
all the
due.
all the situational stuff I bet over the weekend, and it was sparing. I think 3 or 4 bets.
Yeah.
All that stuff went really well. Like Gonzaga. UConn plus 9.5 at one point.
Yeah.
Bad number. There's a couple second halves that were pretty nice. I'm glad that the one I didn't chase was Iowa State second half. I looked at that, couldn't quite do it. I'm counting that as a win because I didn't bet it.
Sure.
And then God, there was a total that was just way off. I think it was a 75. Ended up pushing into 90. That was maybe I'll post some stuff this week.
Okay.
I'm feeling it again. I'm back in my swerve.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't. I think of the 1 seeds, you can make the case that Florida was the only one that really showed any kind of cracks. I thought Duke was pretty outstanding, obviously, and Auburn. Yeah, Auburn was. Team. Yeah, people were kind of interested in going against Auburn, but they look freaking strong as hell. 7.5-point favorites now against Michigan. Duke 9.5 against Arizona. That's a big number. Arizona playing really good basketball. Although, again, if you're Eastern Central time zone, maybe you didn't see them play because those games were pretty late. But Arizona is a very good team. That Arizona Duke game really stands out as sort of the jewel of the Sweet 16 round, and it's the biggest spread. So go figure. I didn't
watch any Oregon. Arizona at all. I didn't catch
it was a really good game. That was a really good one.
Yeah, but also like White Lotus was on, and then I had to go to bed, and I'm like, I'm done for the night. Caleb Love finally good again.
Yeah. Okay. So the Survivor update for me. I'm 3 entries still in the Muse Dog Classic. I've rebought on all 3, and but I've recruited some nice points. I'm kind of hanging in there in the high teens, low 20s with all 3. So, and I've saved pretty much everyone that is good, that has a realistic chance of going, deep into this one. The only one I've stubbed my toe on is one of my entries. I'm against Michigan State. Like I can't pick them, which makes my path a little bit tricky because that one, that Michigan State Ole Miss is pretty good opportunity to take Michigan State because they will likely lose to Auburn. And so you can basically get, that sets up well for path construction for the purpose of like strategy. I just want to talk about this real quick. If you're picking every day, and apparently there are different rules for different contests, and some of them only make you pick one for the Elite Eight as opposed to picking each day of the Elite Eight. That's like the hardest day of all of the Survivor because you're basically picking a team that you think will win their Elite Eight game and then lose their Final Four game. Like that's what you have to do. Like that's the only way you can survive if you're picking both days of the Elite Eight.
And you may only have 3 or 4 choices of the teams available.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's what makes picking your Sweet 16. You're picking a team that you think will win their Sweet 16 game and lose their Elite Eight game, and that's a little bit easier because this year, especially like if in like the Duke. The East is a good example. If Duke has so much market support at this point, and they're going to be similar price point, I would guess, against BYU and a little bit lower against Alabama in that Elite Eight game. So you can take your free swing on Alabama if you want, knowing that they'll be highly likely to lose to Duke in that game. But the trick is really just. You have to be a little bit careful in terms of which regions you're picking because the East and the West play on Thursday and Saturday, and the Midwest and South play on Friday and Sunday. And so effectively, like if you like a good example, let's say that you're highly convicted that the final game is going to be Florida versus Duke, right? Well, guess what? In Survivor, that you can't work with that.
No.
Because you're going to have to take one of those teams on Saturday. to win their Elite Eight game, and then that team you cannot take them to win the others, the other semifinal on the following Saturday, April 5th. So effectively, if you think it's going to be East versus West or Midwest versus South in the final, you have to eat. You just have to.
You have to figure something
find another way, find a new angle, because in either of those worlds you're not getting there.
Find a new slant.
So yeah, I think it's pretty clear that for the Sweet 16, you're picking on the bottom of every single. You're choosing between Texas Tech and Alabama on Thursday. You're choosing between Ole Miss and Tennessee on Friday, unless you're going to go contrarian and burn some picks. But I think this year, because it's so chalky, the optimal strategy is just get as many entries into the final as possible so that you can hit all of the different aspects, because the winner almost certainly is going to have the championship pick correct this year.
Well, and if it's a smaller pool too, there's not a guarantee that it makes it to the championship. Like,
sure.
You can win this by getting a successful Elite Eight pick. Like there's some people that fucked up their path and aren't going to have anyone to pick. Like, oh, I used all the Final Four teams.
Yeah,
I mean, but I'm dead.
So 38% of the pool in the Muse Dog went with Maryland over Colorado State. And while people were like, that would have been nice to get all those people out, a lot of them would have rebuy. And now you actually have this world where if Maryland beats Florida, and you haven't used them like 38% of the pool has, then all of a sudden now, you've got your Elite Eight potentially with taking Maryland over whoever. You can rebuy only up till the start of the Sweet 16.
Okay. I was going to say.
So it's over now
you don't want to save.
The pool is fixed now.
If you can save your mulligan for the playoff, that's tough.
Yeah. So but Maryland is spent for almost half the remaining entries, which is huge. So in my opinion, at least, if Maryland can get that win, and goddamn, they're 6.5 point dogs. That doesn't sound right. Maryland is going to give Florida some trouble, man. That's the worst line of all of these that I'm looking at right now. No way that closes 6.5. That's going to come in big time. If Maryland gets that win, then that unlocks, I think, a winning path for
Honestly,
everybody who hasn't already used them.
I want to say there was 5.5s.
Are you serious? I disagree
Florida's
with that.
Pretty
big time.
Good. It just, I think that was a
yeah,
bad
but the Florida couldn't defend in the paint against Norfolk State. They're going to have a tough time against these bigs. Maryland's two bigs are very good.
It's tough to use those 116 games as a bellwether for.
No, I know, but Florida's kind of their defense at the rim was suspect all year. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think that game is going to be competitive, and I also think the winner of that game goes to the Final Four, and hopefully loses to Auburn, because that's now like the perfect world for me is going to be, I think, taking Alabama over BYU on Thursday. I'm going to take.
I'm probably going to bet BYU straight up.
Alabama's
had some cracks, man.
I got to look at Tennessee, Kentucky a little bit more closely, but.
You're going to find some history. They've played.
I might actually take Texas Tech, Arkansas actually, instead of Alabama, over BYU. I can't take BYU. BYU is very good. I could see them beating Alabama. That wouldn't shock me at all. Texas Tech, you get an extra point there because they're a 3 seed, and I do think Texas Tech will lose to the winner of Florida Maryland. So I think my path is going to be Texas Tech, and then Tennessee, and then Maryland in the West versus East choice, and then I have to take Houston. I'll probably split my picks and take Maryland, some take Duke, and then some take Auburn, and some take Houston.
I like how good Houston's looking too, because I did put them in the final of some brackets, just like they weren't the love, they were the 4th most beloved 1 seed. Yeah. So hopefully they can keep rolling. I'm probably gonna, like I said, bet BYU. If not straight up, at least taking the 4.5.
Yeah,
maybe I can get with you on the Maryland line. Duke, Arizona, who knows? Duke's very, very good. I don't know if we've seen even the best of them yet. They could very well just win that game by 20, but like you said, Arizona's been good, and nobody
They
watched them.
played Arizona earlier this year, and it was competitive for a lot of the game, but Duke ultimately, I think, won by 9. All right.
And then Texas Tech, Arkansas. I wonder about that. I think I'd lay it there.
Um,
That was
no
a
more. I don't
weird
have any more.
game.
Yeah, I don't have any other thoughts other than like I'm not. I don't really care that there weren't upsets. Although I liked your tweet joke about you want to see 4 other very
But
good
see,
teams lose to
it's
dentists
not
and
even a
accountants.
joke. That's what I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody wants. You want to see 4 insane
you want
upsets
good
early, and then you
matchups in
want
the
to see
Final
4
Four.
elite teams at the when the dust settles. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
you also want to see Stephen F. Austin win a game or
Yeah.
Mercer.
Speaking
Last
of
one
elite,
was
yeah, good.
the Patino stuff.
What about
People
it?
are giving Patino a hard time about benching RJ. Kind of think you got to give Rick Pitino the benefit of the doubt.
I didn't.
He's a better coach than you. I'm saying that to anyone who's listening. He knows what he's doing. I don't know. I didn't.
Calipari's just got his number.
Yeah, and that's a tough matchup.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of elite, there was an elite golfer that took home a title this weekend, Andy. Mr. Victor Hovland, who I'm assuming has been playing amazing golf all year and finally got one across the finish line at the Valspar. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, it's the Florida swing can get weird. I mean, we've seen some of these leaderboards, and JT played well, and he was up there. Young Mr. Bridgman was there. I had a really big, what was he, 115-1, kind of in the mix for a while. Kevin Yu couldn't quite put together the Sunday I needed. That would have been a nice cherry on top. Ended up, I think my best golfer was like Corey Connors last night. Finished T8th. Good job. Didn't hit it outright. I didn't really know how to catch Hovland. It was a falling knife kind of thing where he's put up some horrific rounds. He's been horrific around the green, some bad putting, but obviously he can play well enough to win tournaments, and it's the Valspar, not the players. So the field was a little, obviously, quite a bit lesser than the last 2 weeks, despite, there were still some big names that showed up here. So good win for him, especially with the, hey, I'm with this coach. Hey, I'm with this coach. Hey, I'm changing this. Hey, I'm working on this. Hey, I broke my toe. Like, he kind of had a weird start to the year. And it was another one of those where it was like, yeah, maybe. The people who bet him basically said he's Victor Hovland. He's a Ryder Cup team member, no matter what. He's probably a top 10 golfer in the world. He's 80-1. Like, that was the whole bet. Nobody's like, hey, I know he's about to fix it. Like, everybody who bet him, and I know some smart people who did take him, they just said, like, hey, this number's stupid. This has to get a few bucks because it's Victor Hovland. And if you're Luke Donald and you're looking towards Bethpage in the fall, Rory and Victor just won in back-to-back weeks, and things are shaping up. I'm a little worried. I'm worried that it doesn't. We don't get the home team wins every time pattern that we've kind of had for a while here. I'm pretty worried the USA gets beat by Europe again. I don't think we have a good captain again. It's probably better, but man, Donald's good, and
Who's our
the
captain?
team is Keegan. Keegan Bradley of the.
I will not stand for Keegan Bradley slander on this podcast.
I
honestly have no idea.
I've softened. Yeah, I've softened on him.
I have no idea, but how dare you?
play.
How dare you suggest that Europe would win in America? This is
like
Rob, I did not expect to go here. I didn't see this in the rundown, Andy.
Højgaard.
I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't see it in the rundown. I don't like it.
I'm worried. And I think,
Okay.
honestly, the best part about it is Rome was a drubbing. Europe, I bet European alt lines.
Okay.
I bet like -5.5, -6.5, whatever it was. And we got some nice numbers home because Europe just crushed us.
Yes, it was not. It was a non-compete.
The President's Cup sucks because if you take all the other Europeans out and it's just Canadians, South Africans, Australians, whatever, it's not going to be competitive against a USA team. It hasn't been for very many years.
Okay.
That was a drubbing too. Whereas I think this one, and because it's a home court, and it's not like the USA doesn't have good golfers too. I feel like it's going to be a good one. So I'm excited because it's been a while since we've had like a close team competition like that mattered. And my God, when it matters on the Sunday singles and you're dying, that's the
That's gonna be
best kind of
fun.
fun. That's the best kind of sport.
Yeah. Should we go?
It's so much. It's more
Is
than a
it?
Super Bowl ticket, man.
What?
It's so much. Do you know how much it costs to volunteer there?
Does NBC still broadcast it?
It's like $350 to be a volunteer, and you gotta like be win that.
Can't
I think
drink,
you gotta
yeah.
be picked to that.
Yeah,
No,
you can't
and
drink.
you're working. You're paying them to work.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
tickets are like $1,200, man.
golf
for a day.
hypothetical for you. I'm gonna give you Masters champion is American or world, and I'm gonna give you a price of -110 either way. Are you taking a U.S. Masters title or is it coming from outside the U.S. this year?
I mean, at that price, I'd have to go America.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Just getting Xander and Scotty is enough to be 110?
yeah. I mean, you get Brooks, you get Bryson, you get Scotty, you get Xander. Against Rory, Hovland, Rahm.
Interesting.
Yeah, it should probably be tilted about 130 plus 110.
Okay. So we'll see. We'll return to this in a week as we prepare for the Masters.
I mean, just Scotty will be like 5-1, Rory will be like 7-1. I mean, that's so much of the win equity right there.
Okay.
World.
Real quick, catch up on the other kind of major country club sport in Miami. Your pick it to click it. Jess Pagula, looking good. She's alive there. Madison Keys out
Bills.
of the bottom half. Mira Andreeva out of her quarter, which has
a banger though.
Now it's just
Amanda?
Pagula just has to. Yeah, Amanda is playing great right now. She's having a really awesome season. Which
I hate to.
growing.
I always feel creepy speaking about women's tennis players' bodies, but
that's a reasonable take.
It's a reasonable take. But Amanda Anisimova started when she was pretty young.
Yes,
and she is beefed up.
She is.
She has gotten a lot stronger, like noticeably stronger. Like
yes,
I don't know. I don't know if it's just gonna be like she's just gonna be a hardcore power.
She's a different physicality to her than she did.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like she could have a Rybakina kind of ascension. Just like, hey, you're a power hitter now, and you also have enough game to probably win some of these tournaments. So I'm excited for that because
she won Doha.
Yeah,
she won a big one this year, right? Was it Doha? I think it was. Either
that's
Doha
what
or
I'm saying.
Dubai.
Like a slam final.
She won a big one already. But no, Pagula is in really good shape. She's obviously going to have to go through Iga, who's also playing very well. But the other kind of like sharp players are all on the top right now. Zheng's playing great. Osaka is back. And Sabalenka's still alive, taking on Danielle freaking Collins today, which should be a blowout.
DRC.
Sabalenka. We'll see. The men's is just an absolute disaster. I can't believe Alcaraz lost to David Goffin. Like, amazingly bad loss for Alcaraz. I cannot understand what in the world is going on with him.
I haven't followed tennis near this closely the last couple of years. I guess.
Yeah.
You could have set the same line on like, is David Goffin still
playing?
And minus 110. I would have struggled with that one. He can't be that old, but he just had some injuries, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, his best tennis was probably in 2013. I wonder when his peak kilo was just a million years ago.
Ice cream picture with. Remember that weird?
Oh yeah, him and Pierre Hughes Herbe, PHH. Goffin's peak elo was
15.
Let me find it. Was it?
I want to say he was good more recently than 13.
Goffin. It was 2017. May of 2017 was his peak elo. So just a handful of years ago. just
just
8 years ago. Yeah, absolutely insane that he got Alcaraz, and I have no idea what happens on the men's side. It's probably going to be Fritzer Zverev, I suppose, but one of these younger kids could surprise. Feast could surprise. Fonseca's made a deep run, but he's running into Demon Hour. Draper out. Basically, yeah, the men's side is going to be someone finally realizes what has been a lost season to this point for one of these, better named players, I think. The final thoughts, NBA. Gonna keep grinding through the end of March here into April. Some fun stuff is shaping up here in terms of playing excitement. Suns Mavericks is going to be a fun showdown for that 10th spot. Now that Mavericks have PJ Washington back, they're not a joke anymore, and the Suns have solved a lot of their defensive woes somehow, some way, maybe addition by subtraction with Beal being out lately. The Bulls are going to host a play-in game, Andy. This is just happening.
The play-in games.
Bulls are going to host a play-in game.
That's like April 15th. Yeah. We're like 3 weeks away from.
Yeah, we're not that far. Yeah, just an amazingly weird win for the Bulls over the weekend against the Lakers. I'm not sure you saw that. The Bulls scored 145 on them with LeBron James back in LA. But I'm against the market tonight with the Lakers in Orlando. That opened 4.5. It came down to 4. I was like, okay, fine. I'll take some 4. It's down to 3.5 at a lot of places. So I am holding negative equity on my Lakers bet at -4. But I think the Lakers match up very well against Orlando, and I don't really care about the cross country travel spot here. I think the Lakers get right. And then
they can't get much wronger.
They can't get not than what we saw on Saturday. The other fun ones are the Chicago-Denver game. Bulls are very short dogs in Denver, which kind of signals, I think, that a lot of the Denver key players are going to be not playing. Yeah, if you saw how much Jamal Murray played, was it yesterday? I think it was last night they played. You can understand why there's some suspicion that some important players might get benched as they need to keep those guys healthy for more important games than the Bulls on a Monday at the end of March. So not expecting Jokic, expecting Murray could get a night off. Aaron Gordon might get the night off as well. This might be the Michael Porter Jr. show. I like the Bulls in that spot as they put a lot of pressure on teams. And right now, Giddey playing his ass off trying to get paid. We'll definitely, to answer Ryan Zelinsky's question, we'll definitely do some NBA, NHL playoff previews as we get closer. We'll use the long form deep dive.
The Wednesday night one in probably 2 weeks. We'll do some sort of NBA playoffs thing. I don't know when the NHL playoffs start. Similar timing.
Yeah. I'm going to propose tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do a heavy duty NBA daily deep dive as we have some important games. Golden State and Miami, Andy. A little defensive player of the year, Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler back in South Beach. That'll be a very fun one to break down tomorrow. We'll save more NBA thoughts for tomorrow. So do some whip around and talk about other future markets as things are starting to crystallize here down the stretch.
I almost want to get someone to ask about baseball awards if there's any value. Because I looked at those this morning. I'm like, I don't know some of these players.
Yeah, opening day is this week. We'll do. I think I vote Thursday. We do a talking baseball as it is opening. Thursday is opening day, right?
I will bring Cracker Jacks.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, they played those games in Tokyo. That don't count.
I think opening day is Thursday. We'll talk some baseball.
No, it is. The 27th is opening day.
Okay. The final thought. Shout out to Brisket, Fraud Chart, and Jay Creer for awesome. Nobody covers like Creer. Awesome time hanging out with them in Las Vegas. The highlight of the weekend was the four of us went to the barbershop. You remember that place? Still exists, the Speakeasy. You walk in through the barbershop into the back room there, and there was incredible live music. This band, I think they were called the 442s. Local favorites there. Like they had a very strong contingent of Vegas locals who loved that band, and they played just an absolutely insane run of covers of some of the best songs from the 90s. It was epic.
I would also encourage you to just Google Oldsmobile 442.
Just to learn about the car.
Underrated muscle car, because
Okay.
nobody thinks Oldsmobile muscle car.
Yeah.
That thing was a power plant.
Yeah. To answer
last
Patrick's
thought for
question,
me.
the barber shop
Okay.
it's at the Cosmo. It's on the casino level of the Cosmo. And yeah, the live music scene there is sick. It is awesome. We got there like right around 12:30. They played till 2. And yeah, like the quality, it was basically like it was like I was making the playlist of what I wanted to hear people cover, and they did it. They killed it. It was excellent. So, yeah. With that said, your final story for you.
Incarnate Word got steamed the other day. It was correct. I think it's a little bit too much of a test for him against Jacksonville today, though. The game starts. The game starts linking out. I like Jacksonville quite a bit in their tournament. I took them. They beat Eastern Kentucky. They just couldn't get it done as a big underdog. Yeah, I think they're like 12, 15, 18 to 1 to win their tournament. So
Okay.
I'm probably gonna take a small swing at Jacksonville -3 this morning. So sorry
Okay.
in advance. Winning streak is ending now that I've spoken into existence. I've just turned into negative Nelly.
Incarnate Word.
Jacksonville Dolphins. Let's go.
The Dolphins? There's a
Yes.
Jacksonville Dolphin. Oh, what's the Incarnate Word mascot?
The birds. The Cardinals. It's a red
Cardinals.
cardinal, I think.
Okay. Like it's a cardinal, the bird, not a cardinal, the religious figure.
Nobody else has got. Oh yeah. Conclave.